Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Jacob Dev. Today's topic is Agent Zero AI. So if you search for Agent Zero, you should be bring to this page. So this is pretty good open source AI agent framework. So from their claims, it is not a predefined agentic framework, and also it's designed to be dynamic, organically growing, and learning as you use it. And then basically it's also transparent, readable, comprehensible, customizable, and interactive. So they also use computer as a tool to accomplish its tasks. So which is something definitely should be exploring. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build it on Kaggle. So it's completely free. Also, it's customizable. So you can actually go into the source code to update, make your customized tooling to finish your task. So that being said, let's get started. So if you set it up, basically it will be something like this. It's gonna be running on ngrok as we usually do. So this 9F EC, so this is one that's actually running in this notebook right now. So we're gonna do a step to build this in Kaggle. So that being said, let's go to the Kaggle notebook. So to build this, first you have to make sure that you're using Python 3.12. So it only supports, or maybe the best practice from the official document is 3.12. If you go to this GitHub repo, go to their docs. By the way, the docs is a little bit complicated, so just go to the installation section. And there's a video for that. But I think for Linux install, you can just go to Linux Quick Start, open it up, so you can see that's Python 3.12. So you have to install this version, and to do that in Kaggle, you have to basically create a virtual environment, because Kaggle only has Python 3.10. So you have to install Python 3.12 and map all this Kaggle environment to Python 3.12. So follow these steps in this video, so you should be able to use the Python 3.12 in Kaggle. And after you install Python 3.12 virtual environment, just do a pip map to map the pip to the default conda pip, because Kaggle is from conda, so I believe that's default to conda image. So just map the virtual environment to the conda pip and conda pip 3. And so all this stuff is to make sure that the default environment from Kaggle is using the virtual environment that you set up for Python 3.12. You can check the versions here using the Python, basically the version pip.version. And also after you install all this virtual environment, make sure you include the virtual environment bin to the path. Also include the set packages to the system path. So that's also all the pre-requirement you have to install. So after that, make sure you be able to spin up grok. Make sure that you can turn on everything within the notebook to outside. So you will be able to see a page like this. So within a public accessible URL. And so then you have to install Ollama for sure, because if you want to run LLM with Ollama, you have to install it. But I think Agent Zero supports a lot of LLMs. I'll go through that in a little bit, but in this demo, we're going to use Ollama. So you can use Ollama and basically install Ollama using one line command, and also make sure Ollama is up by Ollama serve command. So we use this Q1 2.514b as example. So just install the Q1 2.514b and also the embedding model, the nomic embed text. So you can then do Ollama list to check the models. So you install in Kaggle notebook, so you can see both are installed. Then you install the Agent Zero GitHub. So you basically do a git clone and go to this folder, Agent Zero folder. Then you install all the dependencies, do a pip install. Then you basically create an environment file. So this is where you can see all these supported LLMs. So support Mistral, Open Router, grok. You can also use the grok as well, so it's free. And basically Perplexity is for the search, the tooling search. We can go over that a little bit later, but this is for the search, AI search basically. You can also use OpenAI, which is default. So This is all the Llama base URL, so those are default ones. So this is basically the environment files you have to set up. Okay, and then after that, make sure you also change this initialize.py. So I don't think this is actually documented very well in the documentation. It's actually not in the, I believe that's not actually in the, okay, it is in here, but it's a little bit down the page. So you can see when you want to use a specific LLM, you actually have to also update the code base, not just the environment variables. So you have to update the code base as well. So for example, if you want to use the Llama, you have to basically set models get Llama chat, and then basically point the model name, temperature, and then set the chat LM to Llama. The same if you use LM Studio, or you want to use Google, or you want to use Grok, just use the specific one, and also pick the model. And then basically you have to also update the embedding LLM. Make sure the embedding LLM is set to the right one, because we use Llama, so we just use the nomic embed text. This is very straightforward. And also, like in the configuration, make sure you update a few things, such as the execute Docker enabled, because Kaggle doesn't support Docker. If you have a Docker installed on a local laptop or a PC, then you can just turn it to true. And also make sure that you uncomment all these lines also. But because Kaggle doesn't support Docker, so you cannot use the Docker API or Docker client, so you just turn that to false. This only applies when you run code execution. So when you actually try to write some code or algorithms, and you want the code agent, the agent 0 to run it, and then basically you they will actually call that tool which use the Docker to run it. And also, like if you do the code execution SSH enabled, so this is also for the code execution. You can see the prefix is actually set code execution. So if it's not coding question, this will not be used. It only applies to the tooling when you make basically the code, red code. So that being said, so let's continue. So we actually disabled both to false, because we don't want the SSH enabled or the Docker enabled. So somehow the Kaggle has a little bit issues on the Docker and also the SSH. So we just turn that to false. We'll demo that in a little bit, how this actually works. And then now you have to install Grok, ngrok. Also make sure that you have the ngrok token from ngrok console and map the port to 5001. So this is the agent 0 port. So you can see this link at 9FEC. So this is basically running right now. So you can see that's point to local port 50001. So and then you can start the run UI. So after you spin the run UI, you can go to this link, which you can see here. So this is basically what we're running right now. So you can now to send all the prompts. So let's say hello. They will give you a prompt like that. A response like that, and then also they will have a responding. So first, I think it's like the reasoning, some type of reasoning, the thought, right? The user has agreed me. You can see that's basically doing the interaction, and they have a response, which is like hello, how can I assist you? So and then you can also ask a question like solving the following problem. If your train travels at 60 miles for 2.5 hours, then increases the speed to 75 miles per hour for the next 1.5 hours. What's the total distance traveled? You can see they also try to think about it, the thinking process. It's like reasoning, and then you generate the response. So so basically this is correct. They didn't get the exact answer, but they're basically saying that okay, this is a response. They got both distance correct, and sum them up. The final result should be correct to 62.5. But they didn't actually output it. And then you can also ask questions like, we have 3 gallons of jug and 5 gallons of jug. How can you measure exactly 4 gallons of water? So this is also correct, right? So okay, now it comes to the coding test. So is 3307 prime. You can see that the tool they're using is called the knowledge tool. So there's a knowledge tool. You can find the knowledge tool in the Agent 0 framework. You can go to the Python. And also there's a folder called tools. So you can see all the tools that currently Agent 0 is using. You can also build your own tools if you have a specific requirement on your project, and then you can actually just see how the framework works and add a tool in here. So which is really nice. So I think it's easy to update or add all the tooling in the Agent Zero. So once you do that, you basically can run a prompt, and it will call you the tool you built. So for this example, they're using the knowledge tool. So first they actually did a .go search, which is failed. They said a rate limit failed, and they have a other which is running the memory tool. So I believe the first one is actually, they also do a perplexity search as well. So you can see this actually responding, but they can see, yeah, they also have like no API key provided, perplexity, skipping that. I believe the first one they run is perplexity, then they started running the .go, and later they will run the memory search. But that's how it seems. That's how that works. So they actually generate the code base, but also they try to execute it. Let's see, the execution didn't return anything. So because we're actually not using SSH or Docker, so you can see that's actually running, but it didn't run anything. They actually just do a Python command, which is something similar to the one that we used in here. So I believe that's something that we used in here. So very similar to this one. So basically that's what Agent Zero is doing, but somehow they didn't return results. So basically say, okay, the execution didn't return any results, so they try to modify the code again. So that's how it works. You can see they modified multiple routes, and they didn't actually basically didn't do anything, right? So it didn't get it exactly as expected. So just go through the loops. So there's some issues here. While they didn't get a response, they're supposed to actually end the response, right? But you can see they're also starting to add some of the like URLs, try to do the web page content, and they basically start to run again. And so this is very interesting process, but you can see they're still running. And so, but anyway, if you want to stop that process, you can also click stop, so they will stop generating response. So you can just copy paste code. If they basically have issues of running the code, you can just go through like whatever they generated and paste it to ADX, Google ADX. So I have a demo for that. I have a video, just search for Google ADX on this channel. You can just copy paste the code and then to run from there. Or your local Visual Studio, that's also fine. But anyway, so this is how you run Agent Zero on Kaggle. It's completely free. It's a great framework that you should try out. But that being said, hope this is helpful. If you do like this video, please subscribe, like, or comment if you have any questions. Thanks for supporting the channel. See you in the next one.